Are you from Houston, Kelly?
I am, born and raised.
Nice. This your husband?
My husband.
How many years?
24.
24, wow. Well, enjoy it. It can end tomorrow, I know. So, yeah. So, have fun tonight, but tomorrow's a new day. Life comes at you fast, I know, Kelly. 24. Oh, wow, you got married in 2000. Wow. That was a good year to get married, I guess. Like a big wedding? Small. Have a reception, though?
Vegas.
Vegas? Oh, like that. So no reception. Did you guys meet, like, it was quick? Like, how long were you dating before you got married? Sorry, I'm asking so many questions.
16 years.
You dated 16 years? I think your name should be Patience. The fuck, they 16 years? I know you was mad as hell the last 10 years. Every Christmas stacks. Fucking Grace's gift card, just what I wanted. 16? Holy fuck! What took so long, bro? You had to make sure she was right? I think somebody had to take a couple trips to the DR. Okay, I got it out of my system. I'm ready now. Oh, you was in the military? Yeah. That was a good call, wait till you got out. I was in the military. It's not conducive for relationships. You can't have a motherfucker. This is the honest God truth. I don't like how, I was in the Navy, I don't know how the other branches work, but we could leave for like a year and not come back. Man, that ain't conducive. If the Navy or any of the military really cared about keeping families together, they would fly the soldiers and the sailors home once a month to go fuck their wife and then go back. That's it. Okay, we're gonna drop you off, fucker, come right back. Thank you. That'll keep a family together. Navy? Yep. Where were you stationed?
Coronado.
I was in Coronado. The fuck? That's her? Like North Island or NAB? Are you lying right now? There's 2 bases on Coronado.
60, man, so you're a lot younger than me.
Well, I'm white, so we don't age that great, so. What,
My ship was the USS Breed for a while.
Oh, your ship was stationed in North Island. You just pulled in.
Special Force.
What?
Navy SEAL.
Oh, you was a SEAL?
That's why I took buzz training at.
Oh, yeah, because we were security with the SEALs. Yeah, because I didn't want to do that. I only saw 2 black SEALs. You must have been to one of them. So, there were literally 2 motherfucking black SEALs on Coronado. We were like, oh, there's one, there's the one. There was 2 of them motherfuckers. There was 3 Asians. The buzz, them motherfuckers wild though. I couldn't do it, motherfucker. Oh, cause some of you around Navy SEALs and you see the shit they gotta go through at Buzz, like Hell Week was enough. Cause we had, when Hell Week came, being security on Coronado, you know, Sunday night, when you motherfuckers wake up, and what they do is Sunday night, these motherfuckers like land in like a gym, right? Well, hey, you just gonna interrupt the motherfucking story? We having a deep conversation about America right now. This is American hero I'm trying to talk to. A very indecisive American hero. I'm bringing him a story. you got to take care of that motherfucking bill, Kelly. I don't give a fuck about this show right now. You got to take care of that goddamn bill. She's good. She has an air conditioning business. She's good. No, for real, like, we being security on the base, because I was a cop in the military, a terrible cop. I let everybody go. Everybody got to let go, motherfucker. Everybody. But when Hell Week starts, when Hell Week is, he can probably say more better than I can, but what I saw was they would wake up Sunday night and they don't go to bed until Friday afternoon, basically. They up all week and they got these rafts. All the basements doing this. There's like 8 motherfuckers on these rafts. Everywhere they go. So we would set the perimeter up on the base so nobody could come in and take pictures and videos and shit. And you just see these motherfuckers all week. And I would go home and then come back. These motherfuckers are still running with these rafts over their head. But that's all fucking mind game. All it is. Yep. Because we got the steel pier right there on the base. So you see, you guys, one night the motherfucker had the fire hose, right? And he was spraying you motherfuckers with cold water and shit. And I saw this motherfucker go, all right, I need you guys to swim out like 3 miles, come back in, run 2 miles about the base. We're gonna do 86 push-ups, 7,000 sit-ups, and then we're gonna take the rafts out for another 2 hours, and then we'll come back. And they always got a bell with them, right? And they had the bell there. He goes, or there was an ambulance. They always had an ambulance there by, or that ambulance opened up, motherfucker had a hot chocolate thing and pizza. He goes, or you got some pizza and hot chocolate. You can get this right now and you're done with this. 2 guys was like, ding, ding. Sat back with that hot chocolate and then the motherfucking dude went, I changed my mind. Rest for 20 minutes. They was like, oh, what the fuck? They ain't got this shit. Fucking mind fucked, bro. But
See why it took him 16 years.
Why?
Because he's thorough.
Thorough.
Yes.
Okay. I'll tell you another great Navy SEAL story. This you'll appreciate this, Kelly. In San Diego, there was a bar called the Elephant Bar, and on Tuesday nights, it had like $2 beers. So all the enlisted guys would go, met this chick, went back to her house. We was about to get down. And I looked next to her motherfucking bed, and there was a picture of her. This motherfucking dude had the shit on and said he's a Navy SEAL. I said, who's that? She said, that's my boyfriend. He's out of town. I said, that motherfucker's a Navy SEAL? She goes, yeah. I go, I'm out. Cause that motherfucker probably got that house wired with infrared lighting and shit. I ain't about to be in the middle of blowing his fucking woman's back out and he shows up on a zip line. So you got me confused, bitch. You're about to have me dead? That's fine. He's got it. He's on deployment. I'm like, fuck that. What's up, everybody? This is Gary Owen. Get some. Everybody, this is Gary Owen with the Get Some podcast. If you want to share this with friends, you can go to youtube.com/GaryOwenCom or go to iTunes, search Gary Owen or United We Cast, and just find it. It's a funny podcast because I'm on it. I've had an interesting week to say the least. This is one of those weeks where I always say in the entertainment business, when people come up to me, up and coming comics, and say, what do I got to do to make it, man? What do I got to do? And can you put me on and stuff? I'm like, if you ask 100 comics how they quote unquote made it, they'll give you 100 different stories. This week for me was nuts because I'm in LA and I had some meetings and I go there to watch the taping of Def Comedy Jam. They're bringing it back in December. And I'm in the audience, and Tony Rock's on stage. He's the new host, and he starts talking about interracial dating, and he goes, there's a white guy right there. He goes, oh, shit, Gary Owen, what's up, man? I said, what's up? He said, when did I tape Def Jam? I said, I've never done it. He said, you never been on Def Jam? He goes, you never been on HBO? I was like, no, I never. I've been on every other network. And then I literally came out of the audience and did a set. Like, I think I did 10 to 12 minutes. They'll edit it down to 7.
And I just winged it on stage. And it was funny because afterwards, then I had to fill out all this paperwork. And I'm calling my manager like, I might have fucked up. But I always say there's a reason I don't go to comedy shows or concerts is because there's something about when you're in the entertainment business and you see a microphone and a stage and a captive audience, you want to get on that stage. I've never done drugs. I said laughter and being on stage is my drug of choice. And that it happened. I wasn't thinking about the money. I wasn't thinking about my career. I just saw an audience. And Tony called me out, and the audience stood up like, oh, like they hyped me up. And I got on the stage. And then literally, so afterwards, I had to get all the paperwork done and make sure this was on the up and up. And it was. I mean, there was no negotiating. I'm not getting a lot of money for it. but it's almost like this year I've done a couple things for my bucket list. Earlier this year, I taped Showtime at the Apollo, and I never did that before. And then now I've done Def Jam. Never did that before. And so a lot of what I found out, too, about this business is I just had a comedy special come out last month called I Got My Associates on Showtime. If you got Showtime on demand, it's on there right now. But I have a new hour ready to go. And a lot of networks won't touch me right now for another 8-9 months because they don't want comedy specials coming out back to back. They like to space them out, which makes sense. So I'm sitting here, it almost was a perfect time to do Def Jam because I got about a good 10, 15 minutes on current events that aren't going to be current or as current in 9 months. It was perfect timing for me to do, 10 minutes that I can just basically, quote unquote, burn. And then they called me yesterday and said after watching all the comics and it's only 6 episodes they're doing this year of Def Jam, but they said, yeah, after watching your set and that, it's going to be the first episode. Like, that's going to kick off Def Jam. So, and it always was like a sore spot for me that I never did Def Jam because when Def Jam first came on in the early 90s, I was in high school and then I was in the military. I wasn't doing stand-up then. Then it came back about 10, 11 years ago. And I really wanted to do it. And I auditioned in Cincinnati. And I don't know, they said no. Then I went and hosted the auditions in Columbus. So I just thought it was a gimme. I was going to get it. And I didn't get it. And it's always been a sore spot for me. Like, God, I never did Def Jam. So it was like a bucket list thing for me that I got on. And I did well. And I hate sounding cocky. I did really well. It was one of those nights. And then I was in Phoenix over the weekend. Friday, I'm in my hotel room. I get a phone call to do a movie. And I had to fly out to Atlanta on Monday to start shooting this movie. It's if anybody saw Meet the Blacks, it was in the theaters, but it's on Netflix right now. Mike Epps was in it. I was in it. Lil Duval's in it. Brescia Webb's in it. But anyways, they said they're doing a sequel. And the thing was, in the first one, I died. So I figured I'm not coming back for the sequel. Well, the second one isn't nearly the same as the first one. It's loosely based on it, but they were able to bring me to have me come in and play a completely different character. I play a paraplegic ex-military vet who's nuts, and I live across the street from Mike Epps. And next door, Cat Williams moves in, and Cat is a vampire, and chaos ensues from there. But it's very much like a Blackula meets the Lost Boys type deal. But it should be good. But we did the table read. Monday, we started filming Tuesday. I came in for the first day of shooting, and I come back November 1st to finish up the last week of filming. But it's just one of those, I went to LA for some meetings, and I was going to Phoenix to perform. And next thing I know, I got on Def Jam, and I got in a movie. It's just one of those days. Like, entertainment business, you never know. You can get that phone call tomorrow. I think, looking back on my career, the most unexpected movie I ever got was a movie called College that nobody saw, by the way. And even though it's a good movie, it didn't do well at the box office. I think week 1, we were number 11. That's not very good. But it was a funny movie. And I'll never forget, I auditioned for that movie. It was 2006. And the Bengals were playing the Ravens on Thursday Night Football. And I was on my way to the game, and my agent called me and was like, hey, I want you to audition for this movie called College. So I literally called my buddy who has camera equipment, and I said, "Yo, can you get me on tape real quick?" Because this was pre like iPhone era. So he was like, "Yeah, come by." So I stopped by his house. I gave him $50. He did my audition. We went over it. I got to the game late, and everybody's like, "Where were you?" Like people I was tailgating with, and I was just like, "I had this audition real quick." And that was in November that I did the audition. And then it was funny because February I get a phone call, and I'm getting ready to get on a plane in Indianapolis. I'll never forget. And we got snowed in. So I boarded the plane, and then everybody had to get off the plane, and we were snowed in. And I just remember the airport was not chaos, but a lot of upset people because we couldn't go anywhere. We were stuck at the airport. And my agent called, and she was like, "Hey, Gary, we got an offer for you for college." And I'm like, "Which one?" I'm thinking it's a stand-up date. They go, "College." I go, "I know, which one?" They go, "The movie." I said, "What are you talking about?" They go, "The movie you auditioned for." I said, 3 months ago? So here I am. Everyone's in the Indianapolis airport depressed, and I'm like on cloud nine. I remember the only thing open was a Subway. That was the best Subway sandwich I ever ate. I was just like this. "Just let me know when the flight can leave. 2 days, 3 days. I'll just be here in the corner curled up. I'm good." So that was the most unexpected movie I ever got. But this week was just a cool week. Now, on a downer note, I'm in Atlanta open night of the NBA season, and I go, Terrence J called me up, Lil Rel called me up. We all meet up at this spot to eat and have some drinks and watch the NBA season. And it was funny. We were in a room with about 20 people, and it was divided down the middle. It was about 10 Celtics fans, 10 Cavs fans. And I'm not even going to say 10 Cavs fans. Some people just don't like LeBron. That's what I know. Because Lil Rel is a funny dude, and I like him a lot. But he was, he just did a movie called Uncle Drew with Kyrie Irving. So, of course, he is like all about Kyrie. And I'm the same way. When I meet an athlete and they're cool and you work with them, you just start rooting for them. So he was all about that. Oh, but man, that Gordon Hayward injury just took the sails out of everybody because it was starting to get intense. You could tell it was going to be a chippy game. And when he went down, I noticed immediately, I said, "Your body's not supposed to move like that." And then I said, I thought his shoe fell off. I said, "Oh, his shoe came off the way his ankle was." But then when you saw the Cavs bench just go, "Oh!" The only other time 2 times I've seen a bench react like that was Sean Livingston when he was with the Clippers. That was gruesome. And then I think it was Kevin Ware from Louisville. When his leg literally, his bone was outside of the skin. That was the worst I'd ever seen. It's unfortunate. I just can't even imagine 5 minutes in to the new contract. And you feel bad for Gordon Hayward, but you really feel bad for Boston Celtics fans. Because anywhere else in the country, it's the Cavs are the favorite. And everyone, I think, really believes the Cavs are going to the finals again, except in Boston. Those fans, that's the best team they've had since KG, Paul Pierce, and Ray Allen came the first year. They're deep. They're good. They got an all-star point guard. They had an all-star forward, all-star center. They're just, it's so disheartening. And then to top it off, he was a white guy. Come on. Listen, we don't have that many great white American players. So he was it. Okay. Guess a lot of white guys are going to pull for Porzingis. I guess that's where we're at. Or JJ Redick. Or we'll see how Luke Kennard's going to do in the NBA this year. I'm going to be rooting for him I'm going to be rooting for this guy, Luke Kennard, from afar. Because where I live in Ohio, Luke Kennard, if you don't know who he is, he played at Duke. And he was the first round pick of the Detroit Pistons. He's a rookie. He's a white dude. But I remember in high school hearing about him. And he went to this small town school called Franklin's, the Franklin Wildcats. They were actually my high school's rival in high school. And it's just, they already got I think a street named after him. When you pull into Franklin, it says hometown of Luke Kennard. Because nobody's ever come out of there to play basketball like him. And now he's in the NBA with the Pistons. So it's the closest thing I've ever seen to Jimmy Chitwood from the movie Hoosiers. his senior year of high school, they played a school called Dayton Dunbar. They're just a powerhouse school, and it was an interesting game because Dayton Dunbar is an inner city high school, all black, and then Franklin's all white, country guys. And if you would have saw them warming up, you would have been like, okay, this is gonna be a blowout. Dayton Dunbar clearly had the better team, but Franklin clearly had the best player, which is Luke Kennard. And he went for like 42, and Franklin lost in overtime. And it's just funny because if I go to games like that, I like to sit way up high so I could see the fans' reaction in the court. And it was just funny because you had all these rednecks on one side and all these black people on the other. It was just like, it was almost like a Trump versus Barack Obama rally. Like if Trump would have ran against Barack, that's what it looked like. It's just funny to see because, inner city black high schools are great. I mean, just the fans and the cheerleaders and the cheers they come up with and the dances. And then the redneck schools are just, let's go team. It's funny when the redneck schools play the all black schools, they cheer extra hard. They go really hard. And don't let a white guy dunk. Don't let that happen. Those white dudes will go crazy. They go bananas. But I'm going to be rooting for Luke from afar. I hope Gordon Hayward gets better. But if you was going to ask me before the season, even if Hayward was healthy, I still think it's Celtics and Golden State. And then here goes Golden State. They lose to Houston game 1. But I still think when it comes to playoff time, they're gonna start putting it on them. And since it is the beginning of the season, I predicted as soon as he got drafted, Dennis Smith from Dallas to be Rookie of the Year. But I completely forgot about Ben Simmons from Philly. Like, he is eligible to be Rookie of the Year because he was hurt all year. So I still think Dennis Smith's going to be Rookie of the Year, but Ben Simmons is going to ball this year. He's going to ball. If I'm a Boston fan, I look to him. I look to other guys that have sat out a year. And good thing is it was just bones. It wasn't like tendons and anything like that or ACLs. And the way surgery has come along and medicine in the last 10, 15 years, guys come back quick from those injuries. I had ACL reconstruction back in 95. I'll never forget. I had my ACL reconstructed the day OJ drove the Bronco. I'll never forget as long as I live because I was in the hospital. I was in the military, and I tore my ACL, and they set a surgery date, and I went in, and I was coming out of anesthesia, and they said, do you want to go under for a little bit more? And I was like, what time is it? And let's say they said 4 o'clock. I was like, no. Knicks play at 5. It was the Knicks versus Rockets. It was Olajuwon and Ewing, and I was a huge Patrick Ewing fan. That was my guy back in the day. And I just wanted them to win that year, and there was no cable. There wasn't NBA TV. We had 5 channels in my military hospital room. And so I come out of anesthesia, and I'm watching this game, and all of a sudden, OJ driving the Bronco, and I thought they were just going to it for a minute. No. I missed the whole game. And there's no iPhones. There's no internet. I didn't know who won. It was literally like the next day the paper came. That's how I found out. I had to wait till the next day. Because keep in mind, I'm coming in and out of anesthesia, so I'm not coherent. So I'm falling asleep, then I'm waking up, and I was like, I remember waking up and go, this motherfucker's still driving? How long is this highway? So I'll never forget, I had my ACL reconstruction surgery the day OJ was in the Bronco with Al Callens. I'll never forget as long as I live. And I was so mad. And the next morning, I got a paper, and that's when I found out, oh, the Knicks won. They ended up winning that game. I think it was game 5. They ended up losing the series, but they won that game. I'll never forget that as long as I live. And it was funny because when you're in the military and you have surgery, like I had to be at the hospital at 4 a.m, couldn't eat anything the night before, and I went into surgery at like 7. So you just sit in a room with a bunch of other military guys that are all going in for various surgeries that day. And a lot of them had their wives or their girlfriends and everything. I was like 20. I didn't have anybody. I drove myself to the hospital, and I parked in the parking lot, and I went into surgery. I came out. I was in the hospital for 2 or 3 days, had my ACL reconstruction, and then I drove myself home. You're not supposed to drive yourself home 2-3 days after having an ACL reconstruction, by the way. The guy literally wheeled me to my car. I'm still on meds. Like, I don't remember the drive home. I had an Oldsmobile Cutlass. I'll never forget it. A 1985 Oldsmobile Cutlass. White walls. You would have thought I was a pimp in that car. Drove my ass back to my apartment. And then it was funny, when you come out of anesthesia, you're just kind of in a line. They got this whole line of different dudes coming out of different surgeries in a row. And I'm laying there, and I remember the guy is sitting next to me in case I got to throw up or if I need some water or something, because you're not allowed to eat until you pee. And the guy's sitting there, and I'm just kind of talking to him, and I'm drinking water, and then I go, oh man, I think I'm gonna throw up. And then he puts like a literal bedpan on me. I said, really? This is what I'm doing? You throw up in a bedpan? Like I'm coming out, hey man, I think I'm gonna throw up. He put that bedpan on my chest, and I went, really? A bedpan? Like I looked at him, and he started laughing, and it was like out of Forrest Gump, with a stainless steel bedpan. Like, you guys don't have a bowl or a cup or something? A bedpan, motherfucker? So I was fine. Like me and the guy were talking. I was kind of in and out and everything. And then I'll never forget, there was a Marine that was, I remember I noticed him because he had a black wife. He was a white dude. He had a black wife. And I wasn't married. I was single, but I just noticed them because they were sitting there, and he had a kid, and he had shoulder surgery. And when he came out of anesthesia, he thought he was at war somewhere. He was, get the fuck off me. Who the fuck are you? And he's trying to swing with the other arm that's free, because the one shoulder had surgery. It's pinned down. It's done. They literally had 4 people holding him down. Hey, you're just coming out of surgery, man. It's okay. You're just coming out of surgery. And it was the dude sitting next to me that gave me the bedpan. He got in my ear, goes, I'm so glad I got you. And then he explained to me, he was like, dude, we don't have a choice. We just wait in line. And it's a numbers game. Like, you just got wheeled out, and it was my turn to take the next person on the cot, basically on the bed. And it was you. Because if I'd have been one person back, because that guy came out of surgery right behind me, I would have got him. So this guy's going nuts. And I'm like, okay, this dude's crazy. Then the hospital room, I didn't have a hospital room to myself. You have to share with somebody. Why do I got to share my room with this dude? Like, so I told him to close my curtain immediately. So I didn't want to deal with him in case I didn't know if he was crazy or not. So I just had my curtain shut the whole time. And the good thing was I was right by the door of the room. People had to walk by me to get to him. So I didn't ever have to see him. I just kept my curtain shut the whole time, because I guess a lot of guys open up the curtains because everybody's pretty young in the military, and you start talking. I never talked to him. I was like, I don't want to talk to that dude. I thought he was crazy. I didn't want him to have a flashback with me in the room, think I was somebody. And my point was, as far as these surgeries go, this is what they did with mine. Like, I tore my left ACL. They took my patella tendon out of my right knee and put it in my left. And then come to find out later, you never go into a good knee to repair a bad one. If you got a good knee, you leave it alone. So I'm rehabbing both knees. Like 6-7 years later, I got an arthroscopic surgery on my left knee to clean it out and everything. And I went to University of Southern California, the guy that does all the sports medicine over there at the time. And he said, hey, man, who did your knee? I was like, the Navy? He goes, I was going to say Sue. And it was funny when the doctors talk to you, because they said, now, as you get older, your knee's going to get progressively worse. And I go, doesn't everybody's? And he didn't lie, because now I can't play basketball anymore. I remember I played pickup at Lifetime about 3-4 months ago, half court. My knee was sore for a week. I couldn't do anything. It's like if I play basketball, I got to do hot yoga 3 days before and 3 days after, just to make sure I'm nice and loose, just to make sure. Well, that's enough about that. Let's get into football season. For me being a Bengals fan, it's Steeler week, it's exciting but scary at the same time, because they got our number. They've won 4 in a row against the Bengals. We've lost 4 in a row to them, including that playoff game. This is a big one. And I got a feeling the Steelers were going to beat the Chiefs. I just had a feeling. Just when you think everything's going wrong, here they come. But again, I'm drinking the Kool-Aid, but I think the Bengals got a legit shot, because that defense is going to keep them in the game. It's in Pittsburgh. The Bengals always play better in Pittsburgh than they do in Cincinnati for some reason. Man, this is a stressful week. And I'm going to be in LA this week. This week I'm in Ontario, California, the Improv. But I got to go there and perform. And then they moved the game to 4 o'clock. And at first I was like, God damn it, 4 o'clock, I'm going to miss it. Then it hit me, wait a minute, I'm in LA. It's a 1 o'clock game. I'm straight. I hope it's a nationally televised game, because I do not want to be at a sports bar. I'd rather just be in my hotel I like to hear the announcers. I like to be able to scream and to sit in my drawers and just watch it and sweat and throw pillows at the TV. I'd tell you, the craziest I ever had happen to me was when the Bengals played the Steelers back in 2005 when Carson Palmer got hurt. I was in Kansas City, Missouri. I was in my hotel room, and Carson threw that ball to Chris Henry, and Chris Henry caught it. And I'm like, yes! And then I saw Carson rolling around. And I didn't even see the hit yet. I just saw him rolling around. And I was like, that's not a normal roll. That's when you know in your head something's wrong. And then when I saw the hit, I went, oh, I was throwing pillows against the wall. I was screaming, God damn it, you bitch, you fucking bitch. I'm cussing and everything. Security came to my door and said, where's the girl? I was like, what? And I answered, it was funny. I answered the door. I went from 10 to 1 so fast because I'm like, you motherfuckers are getting down. I'm throwing pillows, and I must have said the word bitch about 30 times in 2 minutes. You fucking bitch. They thought I was hitting a woman. And so a cop is at my door with hotel security, and they said, is there a problem? I said, no, sir. And I'm like real calm now because I'm freaking out. He goes, the cop goes, where's the girl? I said, excuse me? Where's the girl? And I said, there's no girl. He goes, you mind if I come in your room? And I said, yeah. And I come in my room, and there's nothing wrong with my room. I mean, there's a few pillows thrown around, but I'm not trashing the room. I'm not that dude. But they say, we got a phone call about somebody was yelling, and they heard a thump, and then they said they heard a female voice. Somebody had said they heard a female voice. And I was like, I had to tell him, I said, no, man. And I remember it was timing. It was halftime when they showed up. So I hadn't been yelling that long. I'm sure I wasn't yelling just because Carson got hurt. You know, the Bengals had the lead at halftime in that game. So I thought we still had a shot. So I'm probably yelling, yeah, fuck you, Steelers. We don't need Carson. We're fine. You can knock our quarterback out. We're still going to beat you. I'm yelling. It's just a whole array of emotions. Let me tell you something. If somebody had a videotape of me watching a Bengals playoff game, they would think I'm nuts. Like I'd be in a straitjacket taken to a mental institution. I can handle it when I'm in public or at the game, but by myself in a hotel room, you don't want to watch that game with me. So I just remember they literally went through my room. They searched it. One thing I remember was the the hotel security opened a drawer underneath the TV. And I'm like, really? I hit a woman in there. Okay. I remember just thinking, did he just open the drawer of the dresser where the TV's at? That's a really small woman. If I was able to put her, well, I'm a really sick person that just dismembered a woman and there's no blood in my room. I was just like, what the hell? Did he just open the drawer? Sometimes people do things and you don't catch it in the spur of the moment, but then you look back, you're like, that was kind of stupid. Like I did a joke one time with, it's always a joke. My road manager, Brad, I remember he got in before me into a city. He goes, hey, Gary, what time you land? I was like, 3. He goes, o'clock? And I just got quiet. I went, no, man, 3 puppies. I landed 3 puppies. Yeah, 3 o'clock. Well, I mean, what are the 3 is there? What time you land? 3 o'clock? Nah, 3 spiders. I landed 3 spiders. What? But you don't even realize, as soon as he said o'clock, I was like, yeah, 3 o'clock. You don't think about it when he says it, but then when you look back and go, that was stupid. That was stupid for him to say that. I always say, I get my Super Bowl picks every week. There was a lot of devastating injuries this week. I mean, Leonard Fournette, all of a sudden he's looking like the real deal. He's balling out, and then he gets hurt. And the Rams returned the opening kickoff, which was a great kickoff return, by the way. And then Leonard Fournette takes the ball, 75 yards, scores touchdown. The game was 30 seconds in, and it was 7-7. And then Fournette, oh, that was ugly, that injury. But they don't think it's as bad as it looked. And then Aaron Rodgers went down, and that just took. That was a rough one because I'm a huge Aaron Rodgers fan, and if anybody gets a chance to read that article that ESPN, I think it was ESPN the magazine did on him. Yeah, it was ESPN the magazine. Look it up and read it. It's an enlightening article, and I like him even more now as a quarterback because he's just on a quest for knowledge, and he's on a quest to be a good person. Because he said after they won the Super Bowl against the Steelers, he said he was sitting on the bus, and he said, I hope when it's all said and done, this isn't the moment that defines my life, was a Super Bowl victory. I hope I can do more with my life, that it was a part of my life, but it's not the one single thing that defined me. He said a lot of things that I agree with as far as religion goes. And he said, he's really on a quest for knowledge, because he said he grew up, a Christian, and he finds out those Bible thumping Christians, and just like the radical Muslims and every religion, when they go at it like we know what happens after you die and nobody else, and it's our way or no way, they're closed-minded. They won't have an open discussion with you. And he said once he was able to get on his own, and he met with a guy who's I don't want to say spiritual advisor, but he came in to talk to the Packers one time, and Aaron really got his number, and they have open discussions about religion and God and faith and afterlife. And he said, the minute I was able to step back and not say I'm a part of any particular religion, like obviously I believe there's a higher power. He's like, I was able to have open discussions with teammates and be a better teammate and talk to guys who doesn't have the same ideologies as me, and I was like, I'm the same way. I don't judge anybody. I don't claim to say I know what happens after we die. This is what I know. There's something going on that our brains can't comprehend, because there's a beginning and end to everything except space and time. So when I was going to school, Pluto was the 9th planet. And then I was like, well, what? I remember being like in 7th grade going, well, what's after Pluto? It doesn't just end. What goes on after Pluto? And then when people be like, well, there was Adam and Eve or the Big Bang Theory, I'm like, well, and dinosaurs, I'm like, well, what happened before them? Something happened before them. The Big Bang Theory just happened. Something happened. So there's something going on that our brains can't even try to fight. You'll go crazy. I get a headache trying to think about it. I get a headache. So I remember I used to go to church on Thursdays and Sundays with a buddy of mine. And the only reason I went to church was to get out of my house. I mean, I lived in a trailer with an abusive stepdad. And I was like, I just want to get out. And church, I thought, that's a good way to get out. So I would go to church with this guy, and I'll never forget Thursday night, all the teens would go in a room and they had their teen sermon. And the guy literally the first day goes, I want everybody to raise their hand that believes that Jesus Christ is coming soon. The rapture will be here and the earth's going to end. And everybody raise their hand. My hand never went up. I go, I don't, Jesus can wait. Jesus can wait till I'm 85. Let me live my life a little bit. Hold on, brother. Have fun. Live a little. My daughter said the same thing. We were in church one time. My daughter was 7 or 8. We have a similar personality. And she even said, they said, who thinks Jesus is coming back? She looked at me and said, Jesus can wait. I'm 8. I don't want to come back and then we're done. Like the earth's just going to end. Let me live a little before Jesus comes back. So yeah, that Aaron Rodgers article on ESPN, I was like, man, I have so much in common with that dude. And he travels alone, I guess, a lot. Like he's a loner. And I was like, I'm that way. I'm by myself a lot, and I prefer it that way. And to that note, today I was Chris Rock was on his Instagram. If you got Instagram, then there's Instagram story. It's like these little 10-second videos of your day that day. And Chris Rock was on a private jet by himself, nobody else on the jet. And he was flying to DC for shows. And he said, I'm on my jet. I'm by myself. He goes, and I really think all great comics don't need to be around people all the time. He said, because once you get to a certain level, every time you go out in public, you're getting not hounded, but people are stopping you and talking, and you don't have any time to yourself. He goes, so this time on the plane is my time to just be in my own head. And he goes, and it gives me time to work out the material in my head and what did I see today and process information. And I'm like, yeah, because when I have specials or comedy shows, I don't have agreement with a lot of people. I travel with 2 guys, and then they're doing their own thing most of the time. And I like to be by myself. And it's a very quiet, boring green room before my shows. It's nothing like you would think like a rapper. And I think most great comics like that. We just like to be by ourselves in a zone before we hit the stage, whether it's a comedy club or a theater. And as soon as he said that, I go, I'm the same way. I can literally see myself on a private jet by myself, or maybe one person. but there wouldn't be much talking on the flight. There really wouldn't. And just you're in your head. And that's why I think the worst audience for a stand-up would be a bunch of stand-ups because we don't laugh. We just process the joke. And then we look at it like, oh, I see where he came up with that. Or I didn't see that coming. I remember Jamie Foxx has been in probably about 5, 6 of my shows. Jamie Foxx never laughs. All he does is go like this. Ha! That's it. That's his laugh. You know you got a funny joke with Jamie Foxx when you hear this. Ah! That's quiet again. That's all he does. It's nothing like a woo! Ho, 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 ho. Jamie Foxx in the audience. Ha! That's it. and you feel like you just crushed when he's in the audience and you get that from him. Even if you're in a room with him and you're telling a story, you're just talking to him. Ha! That's it. All right. Thanks, Jay. Crushed it. Got 3 eyes out of Jamie in 30 minutes. That was good. I got one every 10 minutes. Doing good with Jamie now. But it was funny watching that Chris Rock thing because I was like, oh, yeah, that is true. Sometimes you follow other people that are in the same industry as you, and you're like, that makes sense. Now I get it. I really think I'm more off stage like Chris Rock than I am like a Kevin Hart or Mike Epps. Like I know Kevin has his crew with them and he travels with them, and Mike does. And the movie I'm doing right now, Mike Epps is in it and Cat Williams, and Mike's had the same group of guys for the last 6, 7 years at least that I've been on tour with them every now and then. It's the same group, but he's got his crew. But I know Mike. He's funny. He's always got this speaker with him. It's like an old school speaker, and he just plays music in his dressing room. And then we was on set yesterday, and he was playing the music out of it, and it was just that's what he does. That's his thing. Everybody's different, and Kevin's always got his crew with him. Always. I don't know, but I don't think Chris travels with a lot of people. Obviously, he was on a jet by himself, and he'll have his reps there when he gets to DC. But I was like, okay, that's me. Because if you ever see me at the airport or out, I'm usually by myself. And when I got my guys, I'm always like this. Because my guys were all coming from different cities. My road manager, Brad, lives in Atlanta. My opener, Gene, lives in Fort Lauderdale. And then my other guy, Say, who takes pictures on the road and does website stuff, he lives in Long Beach. So whenever we're going to a city, and not every week all 3 of them will be there. There might just be 2. Usually there's 2 of them. All the time I got 2. Sometimes I'll have 3, but most times just 2 of them. So you got one guy coming from Atlanta, or one guy coming from Lauderdale, or one guy coming from Long Beach. And my thing is, one of you have to be there before me to get to rent a car. Because when I land, I need somebody to baggage claim, and then we're rolling when I get there. So when I get my flight, I let them know, and I go, I don't care which one of you do it. And I pay for it. I mean, don't get it wrong. I take care of everything. But I said, I need you guys to get it before I get there. Because I know it sounds bad if you don't know this industry, but I can't be sitting there to rent. I got a show tonight, and there's 5,000 people waiting to see me, and I'm at Avis 2 hours for the show. It's also like, and this is funny too. When I first started doing stand-up, and you go to season and you get rent-a-cars, you get whatever. You get a Cavalier, a Ford Fusion. I don't care. Nobody's gonna see me. Now you have to get an SUV. It is an image you give off, and it's a certain and I get it. Like I couldn't imagine like paying to see Beyonce or paying to see Jay-Z, and they pull up in a Chevy Cavalier. I'm like, really? What are they doing with their money, or what are they doing here? You know what I mean? So for me, that's part of it. It's funny, like the more successful you get, your overhead is more expensive too. Because, people want to know, like, they're coming to see a quote unquote star in their brain, and you're giving off, that's what it's an image. And sometimes it sucks because I'll be like, God, the SUV is like 300 more. But you got to get it. I can't be rolling up in a Cavalier and somebody just paid $40, $50 to see me. They're like, what the fuck? What are you doing with your money? What are you doing with my money? Ugh. He just pulled up in a bucket. Gary's struggling. This fool. I ain't paying to see him again. I think what's crazy too, being in the entertainment business is, when I do theater dates, a lot of times we'll put my tickets on Groupon for a day or 2. And at first I was like, man, I don't want other people seeing this. And then they're going to look at me like, damn, he ain't selling tickets. And then my agent, to break it down to me, goes, no, Gary, what it is, you're just giving people a deal. for 24 hours. And what it is, it's almost like free advertising. The people that might not know you're coming, then they're like, oh, shit. And then the word gets out. It's like it's almost better than having a radio commercial. You just throw your shit on there for 24 hours, and you will sell a lot of tickets that one day. Trust. But then it made sense. I'm like, oh, because I got a New Year's Eve. I'm in Dallas, Texas. I did it last year at the Verizon Theater. I'm doing it this year at the Verizon Theater, and we'll find a day, probably early mid-December, and we'll do Groupon for one day, and it'll just help get the word out. And there'll be about 200-300 people that got great deals on tickets. Is all it is. That's what happens. When I remember the first time I started doing theaters by myself, and they say, hey, Gary, we want to put you on Groupon for a day. I said, shit, this ain't working out. I'm falling off a little bit. It's like, no. We do this with a lot of people. And then I didn't feel bad because when I went to check it out, it was like the Comedy Get Down was on there. And, there was a lot of singers, a lot of comedians that have it on there for a day or two. And then I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Then I didn't feel so bad. Because at first I was like, God dang it. I didn't want other people talking about me and making fun. Oh, look at Gary selling tickets, motherfucker, on Groupon. But this weekend, I'm in Ontario, California. It's funny, whenever I put up a flyer on my Instagram or anything, I'll put Ontario, and I'll have all these people hit me up on social media from Canada. I've been waiting for you to come. I've been waiting for you to come to the north. I'm like, nope. It's California. And in fact, one of my wife's friends called her and goes, you going to Canada, Gary, this weekend? And my wife called me like, you going to Canada? I was like, no. So my wife almost thought I was pulling a fast one on her. Like, you can't leave the country without me? Nah, babe, come on. I would never do that. So yeah, I'm in Ontario, California. It's basically 35 miles east of LA. If anybody saw next Friday or Friday after next, it's where Rancho Cucamonga area, where Mike moved out with Ice Cube. That area is where I'm performing at this weekend, and I'll be there October 19th to the 22nd. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Saturday's already sold out. We will add a third show Saturday. Usually they wait till Thursday or Friday to add it. And we might add one Sunday, but tickets are flying. So if you want to come see me this weekend in Ontario, I would do it. And then next weekend, I'm in D.C. at the MGM Grand Casino with Dion Cole. That's already sold out. And I wanted to add a second show, and Dion did, but they just didn't. They said, no, we just want one show, and then we're bringing guys back. Honestly, I'd rather did too. But it's a good feeling to know you're sold out way in advance. This show's been sold out for like a month. That's always a good feeling when you sell out that far. And then the first weekend in November, since I'm on a tangent, I'm in Jacksonville, Florida on November 3rd, and then I'm in Ocala, Florida, November 4th. So I'll be up in Northern Florida, Central Florida, the first week of November. November 3rd, I'm in Jacksonville, Florida at the Florida Theater. And then November 4th, I'm in Ocala. And this is one of those dates where I scheduled it around the Bengals schedule because they play the Jacksonville Jaguars on November 5th. And I hope we still have a reason to play. There's nothing worse than trying to be loyal to your squad and make your schedule around them so you can make some games, and then they're terrible. But they're not terrible. We just got to hope we can get by Pittsburgh. That'd be a huge win this week. Huge. Oh, what I didn't do, I didn't get my Super Bowl picks. Every week I give them. If you listen to my first podcast, week 1, I said Dallas and Oakland. I look like a fool right now. Week to week, it changes. Look at Green Bay. I mean, Green Bay was looking like one of the favorites, and now, I think even though Kansas City lost to Pittsburgh, I still say Kansas City is playing the best ball in the AFC. And I think if they end up playing Pittsburgh in the playoffs, I think they'll get them this time. Regardless if it's in Pittsburgh or Kansas City. I just think they'll lock in, and Andy Reid will have them ready to go, and I think they'll take them. You can only beat a team so many times in a row before eventually that number comes up. I still say Kansas City and AFC and the NFC. I mean, Philly's looking really good, but I still think even though Atlanta lost, I still think I still say Atlanta. Atlanta, if they lose this week, that might change. It's weird. I'm watching them play the Dolphins, and it was almost a replay of the Super Bowl. Like they had a big lead, and they just started passing it. And I was like, God, did you not learn anything from the Super Bowl? Dolphins always do that shit. They always come up and beat somebody that nobody thought they were going to beat. They always do that. So Yeah, I'm still saying Kansas City and Atlanta from what I've seen so far. College football, I haven't touched on it that much, but I'm saying right now, I think Ohio State's going to win it all. And that might be a little homer pick, but that offense is looking dynamic. Dobbins, that tailback is coming into his own. They look really good right now. They dismantled Nebraska over the weekend. Dismantled them. I was like, woo! They look like they're peaking at the right time. Like everything's clicking with them. So, on a side note, I don't even think I mentioned it, but that upset of Iowa State beating Oklahoma 2 weeks ago, I didn't even mention it. But there's a local kid that is the tailback for Iowa State. His name's David Montgomery. And I can't help but root for guys from Cincinnati that ball out. So I'm so happy to see him doing well. If you get a chance to watch Iowa State, look for their tailback, David Montgomery. He's just a sophomore, but the guy's a grown man already. He's a beast. So, anyways, great week. Tape Def Jam, got a movie. This week I'm in Ontario, California at the Improv. And that's it. Nothing crazy happened in society this week. Thank God we're just talking about sports and lighthearted stuff. That's what I would prefer every week. If we could do this podcast without having a natural disaster or some crazy man shooting people in Vegas and everybody's healthy and having fun and enjoying life. That's what I want. That's all I want every week. All right, y'all. Well, I'll see y'all next week. This is Gary Owen with the Get Some podcast. What's up, everybody? This is Gary Owen. Get some.
It's a true story. This club is crazy because there was a point in my career where I wasn't getting booked a lot, I wasn't working a lot, and we're just going broke. Both our kids are 18 months apart, both in diapers, and the dude called, and he said we were gonna lose the house. We're gonna lose our house, and then we went to the bank, and all our credit cards got shut down. I was like, fuck, we didn't have no money. We was done. I remember we were sitting in the car, we was in our car in the parking lot of the bank, and my wife's like, what are you gonna do? You get another job? I said, I'll make it. I'm gonna be a stand-up. I got both the kids in the car seat, in the back of the car, and I'm like, I'll make it, I promise, I don't know how. The next day, I got a phone call to come to this club for $200. And it got us through the next week to get baby formula, to get diapers, and that's it. So to come back now and sell all the shows, this is crazy,
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Gary Owen with the Get Some podcast. You can find us on YouTube at youtube.com/GaryOwenCom, or go to iTunes, search Gary Owen, #GetSome, or United We Cast. Or you know what? You can just find it. If you get it and you like it, share the links. Tell all your friends, tell your neighbors. Even if you don't like it, share it. Heck, I listen to stuff I don't like. I watch Fox News every now and then just because it's interesting to me to see another perspective. As you heard the opening to the show, I was on stage this past week in Ontario, California, which is about 40 miles east of Los Angeles. And it's just, I was on stage, and there's an improv there that it brought back a lot of memories because I sold out all my shows, and then we added a late show on Saturday. So we sold out the original 6 shows, and we added a 7th. And it was funny, Sunday night, I was getting done with my show, and it hit me. I go, man, 15 years ago in 2002, I had my stepson. He was in school, but I had my son who's now 16 and my daughters who is now 15, both in diapers. They were 18 months apart. And me and my wife bought a house. This is before we got married. We had bought a house together back in 2000. I came into a little bit of money. Well, came in quite a bit of money, but it wasn't like millions. I came into a decent amount of money. And we went and bought a house. And long story short, the realtor kind of ripped us off. We were a young couple, saw us coming, and I didn't go broke because I bought jewelry or I bought a fancy car. No, we bought a house. We was trying to be responsible, and we got taken advantage of by a realtor. And without getting into it, the bank came along and was like, we're going to take the house, because I wasn't making enough money at the time to make the house payments, as well as now we got 2 kids in diapers and daycare. It was just a lot came on our plate at once. And for some reason, I hit a slow point in my career. I wasn't getting any movies. Wasn't on TV a lot. I mean, I was out there doing stand-up, but I wasn't getting booked like people think I'm getting booked. So every time I would come home with like a couple $1,000s from the weekend, that would go straight into the house and everything else, bills. And we got behind, and then the bank called and was like, we're taking your house. And my wife was like, I can't afford daycare. So we're sitting here like, we got no money. So what happened was, I had all our credit cards had gotten canceled. I had 1 credit card left. And me being a dumbass, I called the credit card company saying, hey, can I get an increase on my credit card? I had it for like 6-7 years and never been late on the payment and all the other stuff. And they said, oh, we're looking at you right now. You're delinquent in all these other areas. And I went, but I'm not delinquent on this one. And me calling to get an increase on my balance made them cancel my last credit card. So if I would have just kept my mouth shut, I would have been all right. So now me and my wife are in the parking lot of Bank of America in Glendale, California. I'll never forget it. And she looked at me, and we got both kids in the back seat, both in car seats. And she says, what are we going to do? She goes, do I got to get a job? Then the kids got to be in daycare full time, because it was like part-time. They was in daycare. And I just told her, I said, I don't know. I said, I'm not going to get a job, because she asked me, what are you going to do? I said, something will happen. I said, the only thing I can control is I'm funny. I said, I know I'm funny, and I know it'll happen. And the next day, no lie, I got a phone call from the Ontario Improv, where I was just at this weekend, where I sold out 6 shows and added a 7th. And it was like a Wednesday. And they said, Gary, we need somebody tonight to headline the show, $200. And I said, done. So I didn't know I was going to make it as far as gas goes. So I think I collected change throughout the house, and I filled up the gas tank with like quarters, nickels, dimes. I think I got like $30-some of change all around the house. So I was able to put money in the car, went out to Ontario, and I always had these like bootleg looking CDs that I would sell on the road. And it's just as live from Tampa. And you can actually get that CD, no lie, on I think it's on iTunes and everything else. You can find it. But I had it, and I would sell it after my show. And it was crazy, because I got the $200. But not only did I get the $200, but I was selling these CDs that I burned in my house before I drove to Ontario. And I'll never forget this. This Mexican guy came up, and he was like, hey, Gary, how much for the CDs? And I was like, $10. He bought 15 of them. So that was $350. And I think I sold some more. So basically, I walked out there with $400. And I wasn't working that weekend, but it got us through that next week, because the week after that, I was in Tampa at the Improv. And then I knew I would have a couple $1,000s coming in after that weekend. And I remember sitting in the hotel in Tampa. So the $400 is gone now. Like we got food. We was able to do what we had to do with it, with the kids and everything. And now I'm sitting here. I'll never forget. I was sitting in my hotel room just burning CDs. I had this portable CD burner that Gabriel Iglesias told me about. And I had it for a year or so. So I'm burning my CDs, that a bunch of CDs that I had bought blank CDs from like Best Buy or Office Depot or something. And I'm burning them. And I remember I was counting the money. I was like $10, $20. Every time I'd burn one, I'd be like, just got to sell these. And it got us through that little, rough patch. And then we end up getting rid of the house and went to a smaller house. And here's the terrible part of this story. We had a decent sized house, big house, but it sat on top of a hill outside of LA, little area called La Crescenta. And we bought a much smaller house. It was just like, we went from like, I'm not going to say high on the hill, but we were on top of the hill. And the house we were renting after we got kicked out of the let's say the big house, we could see our old house. So every day I'd walk out the front door and I could see the old house. And it was just like, and we stayed there for a year. And then I was just like, we maintained, we weren't saving money, but we weren't putting money away. And that's when, after that year, I told my wife, I said, let's move back to Ohio. So we went back to Cincinnati. I know the area, cost of living is a little cheaper. And I said, we'll just come back for 2 years. And if I feel like my career is missed in LA, so to speak, then we'll come back. And we've been back in Ohio ever since. And what I did know about the entertainment business is when they want you for a movie or a TV show, they fly you out and put you at really nice hotels. And I was like, I don't know why people live in LA. I'm flying first, and I'm in a very nice hotel room when I get there. And I don't have to worry about traffic because there's somebody there to pick me up to take me to set. So it's just kind of one of them stories where I say, people always ask comics, like, what do I got to do to make it? And if you ask 100 comics what they had to do to make it, they'll give you 100 different stories. Like that story is from 2002. The first time I was on TV was 97. I got the hosting job on Comic View 98, 99. So people would think I'm doing great. And I was doing okay for a couple years, but then I hit a little lull in my career, and it happens. Like Jamie Foxx told me years ago, he said, entertainment business is the biggest temp job out there because there really isn't a lot of job security. You're up and down and up and down. And I just hit that point where I was down in like 2002, and I got that phone call for $200, which ended up being about $400, and it got us through. And I even before I started doing was ever on TV, not before I started doing stand up, before I ever got to LA, I'll never forget. I was in the military. I was in the Navy, and I just wanted to do stand up. I wanted to get to LA and do stand up. So I used to get off work. On the base in San Diego at 4 p.m. and I would drive for the 2.5 hours because I'd be stuck in traffic to get to LA. I get to LA usually about 6:30, maybe 7 if traffic was bad. And I would just go get something to eat and sit around at whatever comedy spot I was at that night. I would just sit around, and usually I'd have like a 10 p.m. spot to 10:10, 10:15, 10:15 minutes. And then I'd drive back to San Diego, get up at 5, 6 in the morning, go to work. And then I'd do that again the next day. And I did that probably 3 days out of the week. And it was just because I was trying to get my name out there in LA. And I would lie to people all the time. I would lie to my military buddies and be like, yo, last night I saw Jim Carrey. Or last night I saw Eddie Murphy. And they'd be like, what? I was like, you want to ride with me? So I would get guys to ride with me and help me with the drive by lying to them. And then we get up to LA, we wouldn't see anybody. I was like, well, he was here last night. He was here yesterday. And I'll tell you the funniest story. I'm not going to say any names or anything. Don't want to throw anyone under the bus. But I had one military buddy. He rode up in his own car, and I was riding up. I had an S10 pickup. And I'll never forget, he rode up with me, and we hung out. And then we was driving back to San Diego, and he had met a girl from Australia at a bar one night. We was going out. And I'll never forget, we was driving back, and this is before everyone had cell phones. So we're driving back, and he kept trying to get my attention on the highway driving back to San Diego. And I look over, the Australian chick is just giving him a blowjob right there on the highway. And all I could see was his blonde hair everywhere. And he's like, give me the thumbs up. Like, he kept trying to get my attention, like, you ain't gonna believe this. I said, I make this drive all the time. That never happens to me. But he got it in, though. He got it in. I was proud of him. But I've always been a fan of Australia ever since then. I root for him in the Olympics. It's weird. So any comic out there listening to this, man, I always say, man, you can never have a plan B in this business. Because if you have a plan B, you're setting yourself up not to make it. Because when I first started dating my wife, now my wife's an attractive lady. When I first started dating her, she was one of them chicks in Hollywood that all the ball players was trying to get with, all the A-list actors. And I just made her laugh. And she said she fell for me because I didn't have any extra agenda, or I didn't have an angle. Because she was like, you know, what are you going to do? I said, I'm going to be a comedian. And she goes, well, what else? I said, that's it. She goes, you don't have like a plan B? I said, no, I'm going to be a comedian. I don't know what else you want me to say. I'm going to be a comedian. And she goes, just the look in my eyes was like, so like, this it. She knew. There wasn't like, I'm going to do this. I want a side hustle. Nah, I said, that's it. I'm out here to be a comedian. I ain't got no money right now, but I'm going to be a comedian. And even then she started dating me. But even then she was like, you don't have a plan B, because I need 2 more general education classes to have my bachelor's, and I'll never get it. I'll never get my bachelor's because if I ever get it, I'm telling myself I was setting myself up not to make it as a stand-up. So I was taking all these college courses and I was in the military, and I just stopped. With 2 classes left to get my bachelor's, I just stopped. Because I said I want to do stand-up. That was it. And I'll never get it. I'll never get my bachelor's because to me it was like, I'm just kind of setting myself up. And a lot of times too, I noticed too in society, we put so much emphasis on college degrees. Like you need a bachelor's to make it. And I'm not deterring people from going to college, but once you realize what your passion is and what you want to do in life, if it doesn't require a college degree, go after that. Go after that, whatever it is. If it doesn't need a degree, then it doesn't need it. Like a stand-up does not need a college degree. An actor does not need a college degree. Now, a writer might need to take some college English courses to make sure, and some writing classes. But there's some professions you don't need a college degree. I know a guy that is a mechanic, and he likes being a mechanic. I mean, he likes working on cars, and that's what he does. And there's another guy I know out here in Cincinnati has his own detail shop, and it's his now. He's got numerous employees. That's what he likes doing. Never went to college. That's probably why I don't get asked to talk to schools as much, because I'm quick to tell them, man, if you want to be a lawyer, then you got to go to college. You want to be a teacher, then you got to go to college. But if you want to start a clothing line, a record label, if you want to be a comedian, I don't know, if you want to be a jockey, if you want to be a horse trainer, you don't have to go to college for that. If you want to start a restaurant, you don't have to go to college for that necessarily. So I think we put so much emphasis on that. We don't allow kids to really pursue what they really want to do in life, because we think like if you don't go to college, then you're wasting your life, or you're somewhat of a failure, or people look down on you. Nah, that's what it is. That's what it is. I stopped going because of that. I know Keenan Ivory Wayans has a story where he dropped out of college because he said he wanted to be a stand-up. That's what he wanted to do. I don't know if you take nothing else away from that. And any comic listening to this, don't have a plan B, man. And it's a funny story how I got the hosting job on BET's Comic View, because I was doing stand-up in San Diego. They had a contest that we're looking for the funniest black comedian in San Diego. It was a radio call-in. And I called in. I didn't say I was black or wasn't black. I just called in. And I ended up showing up at the contest, and I won the contest. And first prize was an audition for BET's Comic View. So I drove up to LA, got on Comic View, and I kept winning all my rounds. And it ended up, the head of the network called me to his office a couple months later and said, "Hey, you want the hosting job?" And I was like, "Yeah." I still had like 6 months left on my enlistment in the Navy. And by the time we started filming, though, it was going to be 3 months later. So I had to get out 3 months early. Luckily, I had a cool command that when I went and told them, they worked with me, and they were able to get me the time off to go film. And then eventually I was just honorably discharged. And then that's how I got the hosting job on Comic View. That got me headlining immediately on the road. And so I never had I had to open up for people and do all that stuff like other comics. But I felt like I paid my dues by making all those drives from San Diego to LA 3-4 times a week when I was active duty military. And it's funny because before I got out, they had this thing called the TAP class in the military. It's called Transition Assistance Program. And what it is the military used to you get out and they just send you home. So you're like just stuck. Now, or I don't know how it is. This is almost 20 years ago that I got out. When you got out of the military, they would have a week-long class, and all it was prepping you to get out. And then they would let you go home for like a couple weeks or a month and still have that military paycheck coming in. That way you go home and you have a little cash flow coming in till you get on your feet. Because you always see them homeless people on the side of the road, ex-military, need help. Well, the military, I think they got wind of that, so they try to help you getting out. But I was going through this TAP class, they call it. And I'll never forget, I was the last guy to stand up. There's probably about 50 people in the class, and everybody said the same thing. The lady that was in charge of it is like, "What are you guys going to do once you get out of the military?" And a lot of times what the military does, they scare you into staying in, because they're like, "I don't know if, this is job security, and, you got a good paycheck, and you make more money every year. You're constantly getting raises, so to speak." And everyone said the same thing. They either said, "I'm going home, I'm going to college, or I'm going into law enforcement." That's the only 3 things I heard. And then I stood up and I said, "I'm going to be a comedian." And you saw everybody look. And then the lady goes, "Excuse me?" I said, "I'm going to be a comedian." Now, she didn't know I already had the job on BET right now. Even though I hadn't started filming it, I already had the job. So she pulls me aside after the first day of tap class. Are you sure you want to do that? I said, yeah. So this is like a Monday. I invited her out like Tuesday to come see me at some local hole in the wall spot. She actually came. She showed up Tuesday to my comedy show, and she came in Wednesday, and she pulled me aside before class. She goes, I've never said this to anyone. She goes, but you're making the right choice. You're making the right choice. And she even said, she goes, it has nothing to do with how funny you are or anything. She goes, I see it's in your eyes. It's your passion. It's what you love. I saw it. She goes, I saw it in tap class when you said I'm going to be a comedian. And then I saw you when you got on stage. She goes, it's like you were at home. She goes, you're funny. She goes, but this has nothing to do with that. She goes, I just saw it in your eyes. You were at home and you were happy. And somebody reminded me a couple months ago when I started doing stand-up in San Diego, I wasn't even going to comedy clubs. I was making up my own spots. Like there was a Tuesday night was this place called El Torito's, and they had karaoke. And I would just go up in the middle of karaoke and do like 5 minutes of jokes. Like people would be singing, but next Gary Owen. And I would just start telling jokes. And I would tell the host of the karaoke, I go, tell them I'm a comedian though. So the guy would be like, hey, we got a comedian. And, everybody was cool. And then Friday night, I would go to this place called Mr. O's. And literally in the middle of the nightclub, I would just get on the dance floor and start telling jokes. Like the DJ would stop playing. And then he'd say, we got a comedian in the house. And I would just grab a mic and just start talking. And then I would go downtown San Diego on Saturday nights. And there was only one club open till 4 a.m. So everything else closed at 1:32. And the guy gave me $50 to stand outside his little club by the front door. And he'd give me a microphone and he had a speaker out there. And I would just like almost talk smack, but I would get people to come in because we're open. His spot was open. So I would just do that for like 20 minutes and he'd give me $50. And I thought I was rich. I was like, $50? Hell yeah. And I get free drinks if I want to go to that club or the little bar all night. $50? What? This is living, boy. Man, does it get any better in life? So that was Ontario, man. It brought back a lot of memories this weekend being in Ontario. Now there's this upcoming weekend. I'm in Washington, D.C. with Dion Cole. The show's been sold out for like a month. It's at the MGM Grand Casino, brand new casino in Oxon Hill, Maryland, which is right outside of D.C. Now the weekend after that, I'm in two cities. I'm in Jacksonville, Florida, November 3rd at a place called the Florida Theater. Then November 4th, I'm in Ocala, Florida at the Riley Arts Center. Just go to GaryOwen.com if you're looking for tickets. Before I get into football, because I got to feel I'm going to go on a tangent. NBA season is here, and things aren't going quite like we thought. Golden State is started out 1-2. Houston isn't doing that great. Cleveland got spanked by Orlando to the point where they're moving Dwayne Wade to the bench. I don't know what that's all about. I'll get that. Talk about panicking a little bit. But I think the one thing that I think everybody saw coming, but it's coming to fruition, is Giannis Antetokounmpo. I don't even know if I said that right. This dude is the next coming. What I hope happens, I hope Giannis stays in Milwaukee. Me being a Cincinnati guy, I love seeing the small market teams just take out the big boys. I love it. And I would love for him to stay in Milwaukee and make that like LeBron made Cleveland the spot to be. I would love for that to happen because Milwaukee deserves it. Milwaukee's a cool city, and they're kind of like Chicago's little stepbrother. But, God, they haven't really been – I mean, they were a little relevant when Big Dog Robinson was there and Ray Allen, and they took the Sixers to 7 games in 2001. They were in the mix all the time, but they really haven't been in the mix almost since Kareem was there. If you just want to be honest. I mean, they're always like teasing people, but they really haven't. But I would just, I would love for him to stay there and have people go play. Who wouldn't want to play with him? He's 22. He does everything. And the only thing he doesn't have is a 3-point shot. And if you're going to take everything like court vision, hops, height, athleticism, the one thing you can teach somebody is how to shoot. You can teach somebody how to shoot. I've already told the Vince Carter story. You can't teach somebody how to jump. You can't teach somebody how to be 6'11". You can't teach anybody to see the court. If you got court vision, you got it. But I hope, not this year. I'm hoping Cleveland takes it this year. But I hope in a couple of years that baton gets passed from LeBron to him and he just takes over the league because he's fun to watch too. And he seems like he's got a good head on his shoulders and he just gets it. And I like Jason Kidd as a coach. I like what they're doing in Milwaukee. What I'm not too fond of is LeVar Ball. God, I'm okay with everything he's done. But when your son, game one, gets schooled by Patrick Beverley, and then the next game he has a great game against the Phoenix Suns, who, by the way, is the worst defensive team in the NBA. A lot of people are going to have great games against the Phoenix Suns. Phoenix Suns is got to be, I think, their most dysfunctional team in the NBA because you got Eric Bledsoe asking to leave. They're firing their coach after the third game. And if you don't like the city of Phoenix, you don't like America. That's a great city, and that's a great city to live in as a young male with millions of dollars in your pocket, which basically everyone in the Phoenix Suns have. I don't know anybody don't like Phoenix. I mean, who doesn't want to stay there? And the facility's great. It's right downtown in the heart of everything. It's a great city. It's one of my favorite cities in the country. And if you want out of there, good Lord. Can you imagine? Like, I want out of Phoenix, and then they trade you, and you go to New Orleans. And New Orleans is cool, but it ain't Phoenix. You know? You go to Sacramento. Oh, okay, this is great. Really glad I made this choice. But the fact that LeVar Ball, you could talk smack when your son does something, but when he gets schooled, and there's going to have nights like that, he's a rookie, just give Beverly his props. He didn't even give Beverly his props. He just said, this is the last interview you'll see of him. And then he tried to say, like, well, Patrick Beverly ain't got no shoe. And somebody had said, I don't know what shoe he was wearing, but he put his foot in your son's ass with those shoes. And I tell you what, talking about the Clippers, it's funny how sometimes you eliminate somebody. I love Chris Paul. I think he's an asset to any team. But sometimes you alleviate the alpha male, so to speak, and then other guys can flourish. And it looks like Blake Griffin feels like the weight of the world is off his shoulders. He's like, oh, it's my team. I'm making all the calls now. I'm having fun. I mean, I think the biggest surprises so far, and it's early, is the Clippers and Memphis. Memphis is undefeated. And Memphis is beating the big dogs. Like, and it's the same thing. They got rid of Tony Allen. They got rid of Zach Randolph and even Vince. I love Vince, but Vince wasn't that dude. But they got rid of their two big dogs that you had to feed the ball in. And Tony Allen, he didn't need the ball, but he took a lot of energy. I mean, there's a lot of energy on the court. And they still got Gasol. And it looks like Mike Conley's like, okay, this is my team. And they got a lot of young guys coming in. It's, Memphis is a lot better than they thought. And the Clippers. And it's funny because Clippers lose CP3. And then Memphis gets rid of like 4 or 5 guys that was taking up a lot of minutes. And it's like you never can tell. I see it happen more in college basketball than I do the NBA. Because I remember Keith Van Horn was with Utah, and then he leaves, and then they go to the Final Four the next year with Andre Miller and Doliak. Here's a great Utah Jazz story, a great one. And I don't know if I've told it before, but when Brian Russell was with the Jazz, the NBA had the strike, the 98-99 season. And I went there. Brian he was having a New Year's Eve party, and I went to Utah to go play. And not to go play, I was hosting his New Year's Eve party, and the NBA players were not allowed to have organized activities through the team, but they could all come together and play pickup ball. So Brian picked me up one morning, and I went to go watch all these guys play pickup. It was like Ike Austin, Doliak was there, Andre Miller was still at Utah, just John Stockton, Shandon Anderson, Chris Morris, like all those guys was with the great Jazz teams. I don't remember. John Stockton was there, but not Jeff Hornacek. He wasn't there. But I also remember you had all these big brothers there, and maybe 1 or 2 white dudes, but that were big. And then they only had 9 guys. And Brian goes, gee, you want to run? I was like, hell yeah. I was in my early 20s. And Stockton was like, no, we're just going to wait. And I was like, what? John Stockton wouldn't let me run because it was all NBA guys and me. And he was just like, dude, I'm trying to get ready for the season. I'm not going to have basically 4 on 5.5, 4.5 on 5. I'm going to give myself a half. It ain't going to be 4 on 5, but I'm giving myself a half. And I was like early 20s at the time, so I had a lot of energy, but I was so excited, and then it just came crushing down like, come on, man. But I got it. Looking back on, I get it. But what was funny was another brother showed up eventually, and so then they had 10 guys. So they were picking teams to make it even. And it was just so funny because you had all these tall brothers and everything, and they were arguing over, that ain't fair, man. You got John, though. That ain't fair. You got John. The smallest white guy out there was making the teams uneven. Like the brother's like, no, but you got John. That don't matter. We got him, but you got John. It was just funny because if you didn't know, you would have never thought all these big brothers were like, it ain't fair because the 6-foot white dude is on your team, even though we got 3 6'8" brothers on ours. It just ain't fair. So I don't know. I got sidetracked. Sorry, that happens a lot on my podcast. But NBA season's in full swing. I've seen it before. You can start the season on fire, but in the end, it all works out. The teams that we know are going to be good. Golden State's going to be there in the end. Cleveland's going to be there in the end. I think Boston will be there in the end. Milwaukee for sure, as long as the Greek god, the Greek freak is healthy, they're going to be there in the end. Houston will be there. Well, I'm anxious to see how Memphis and LA work out. LA's the one. They look like they got a deep squad, and they look like they like each other. And they're going to play some defense, like hard defense, All right, let me take a deep breath. The Bengals lost to the Steelers again, 8 of the last 9. I didn't realize it was that bad. I knew it was 4 of the last 5, but I didn't know it was 8 of the last 9 that we've lost to Pittsburgh. And I went on a rant on my Instagram page. And it followed me on Twitter, Instagram, or Snapchat. My name is Gary Owen Comedy on there. And I just went on a rant. And I was just like, I just hate when I love the build up to the Pittsburgh week when Cincinnati plays them. But once the game gets going, it's like it's always the same. It's always the same. Bengals play with them in the first half. And then the second half, I don't know what happens. We just come out flat. I don't know if we're out coached. I'm not going to act like I know what's going on, but it never works out. We were up 29 last year in Cincinnati. Pittsburgh came back and stomped us. This year, it's 14-all. We kept matching. I'm like, okay, we got it. Our offense is here. Pittsburgh goes up 17-14. We get the ball. A little over 2 minutes left. We go 3 and out. Pittsburgh get the ball, drive it right on the field. Kick a field goal for halftime. It's 20-14. We get the ball in the second half, 3 and out. I go, that's it. We're done. And we were. The only bright spots I saw, William Jackson was D'ing up Antonio Brown. That was obvious. Joe Mixon looked good for the 7 carries he got. Then they stopped giving him the ball. I don't know what that's all about. When you saw Pittsburgh give Le'Veon Bell the ball 35 times, I'm like, I think that's what we should be doing with Mixon because he's going to have some 1 or 2 yard runs, but let him get a shot to break one because he looks like he's so big. People are going to get sick of tackling him. So, but the 7 carries ain't going to get sick of nothing. It's frustrating. When you're down and out, there's nothing better than a bad team coming to your city, and Indianapolis is coming this week. If we don't beat them, I say you just blow the team up after that. Get rid of everybody. If we can't beat Indy this week, that's a sad state of affairs. I'm not going to vent too much on the Bengals. I'm depressed, man. Oh, God. I tell you, every week I'm going to get my Super Bowl picks, and this is the first week they're completely changing. I hate even saying this, but in the AFC, it's Pittsburgh's playing the best. Fucking hate this. I hate my life. I hate even saying. I'm trying to avoid it. I wasn't even looking forward to get my Super Bowl picks this week, but it is what it is. And it's crazy in the NFL. Things can change so fast. Because 2 weeks ago, they got spanked by Jacksonville. Ben said, I don't know if I can do it anymore. Blah, blah, blah. And they go to Kansas City, and I saw it coming. I go, God dang it. Just when you think Pittsburgh and New England, those 2 teams, when you think they're out, because I don't remember 3 years ago, New England played Kansas City and got stomped on Monday night. And everybody's like, that's it. Tom Brady got old. Time to blow up the team. Time to bring in somebody else. And then they played Cincy the next week and just stomped us. And I saw it coming. Just like this. Pittsburgh gets stomped by Jacksonville a couple weeks ago. It's over. Disarray. And then, boom. They beat Kansas City. They beat us. Now everything's great. 5-2. Baltimore looks like they're falling apart. Cincy ain't playing with a damn. So I'm right now, Pittsburgh and Philly. It could be a Pennsylvania Super Bowl this year in Minnesota. Now but I will say this. The last time Pittsburgh and Philly were both really good like this, what happened was Pittsburgh was playing New England in the AFC Championship, and Philly was playing the St. Louis Rams in the NFC Championship. And everybody's like, it could be a Pittsburgh-Philly Super Bowl, and it ended up being New England and the Rams. That was the last time both those teams were good like that. That was pre-T.O. days. It was pre-Taylor Owens. I was looking at the scores of the Cleveland Browns because they're 0-7. And they've been in every game but 2. They've been right there. They almost beat Pittsburgh week 1. I mean, Cincy blew them out, and then one other team blew up. But they've been there. They almost beat Tennessee this week. Their defense is not terrible. It really isn't. But it was funny because this week, Deshaun Kaiser got caught on Snapchat out Friday night at a nightclub. Doesn't show him drinking or anything, but he's out late on a Friday night at a nightclub. I think it says a lot because your quarterback, you don't want him to be out, and you don't want him trying to be cool. You want a geek damn near. You look at Brady, you look at Russell Wilson, you look at Peyton Manning, you look at Matt Ryan, you look at all the great, I bet you Carson Wentz, Deshaun Watson. Those guys aren't out during the season on Friday and Saturday. They're not. And just the fact that he was, I think that says a lot about him. To me, I'm like, he's got to go. He's not our starter. That's a backup. He's not focused on what he should be focused on. And I love it when they say, what was he doing out? What was he doing out on a Friday night? And he's got a Sunday game. I go, chasing pussy? That's what he was doing. I love it when the ESPN and the Fox Sports and everybody goes, what was he doing out? Trying to get laid. He's 21. He's got $1 million in the bank. And he's single. He's trying to get laid. That's what he's doing. Why is everybody act stupid when they see stuff like that? I was like this. If I'm Hugh Jackson, I'm like, Deshaun, what do you want? We'll get it. We'll send it to your room. We'll find somebody. We got people for that. You don't want to be out in the street. Let us know. We'll find somebody. I'm sure the NFL's got a nice little stable. You ain't the first. NFL players' off days are Tuesdays. So what you have is you have Monday. Here's when you got to go out as an NFL player. You got Sunday night after the game. That's a good time to let off steam. Win or lose, it's a good time to let everything off. You know, you got Monday night because Tuesday is your off day. So you have really the NFL during the season, if an NFL player, you have Sunday nights and Monday nights to let off steam. Every other day a week, no, you got to come in early. You got to be focused on the game. I'm not one of these guys who's like, I don't expect you to stay in every night. Focus on the game. Sunday nights and Monday nights are when you let off steam, however you want to let it off. I don't know if you want to go to a nightclub and get drunk. I don't care. You want to go out with your boys. You want to go to Topgolf. Those are the nights. Every other night, go out to dinner, do what you want to do, but don't be out late. Don't be out late, especially if you're the quarterback. I don't think people give NFL quarterbacks enough credit by how smart they have to be. Those are the smartest guys on the team because you got to know everybody on offense, what they're supposed to do, and then whatever defense is being played, you have to know what they're running to tell everybody on offense what they're going to run. Those guys are, I mean, if you ever see an NFL playbook, it's like learning another language. I'm not that smart, honestly. I am not that smart. I'm not even going to lie and be like, I can pick up. No, I can't. But quarterbacks, man, that is the one position you don't know. You just don't know until they get to the league. I mean, you think, but, you know, the game just is so fast. And, you know, a lot of guys physically have it, but it's just mentally, you know, the game might be too fast for them. And I'm not even mad at those dudes because I'm like, it'd be too fast for me. Be too fast for me. So it's funny. If you listen to all my podcasts, I give Super Bowl picks every week. And it's changed tremendously from week 1. I'll tell you that. But anyways, those are my picks. NBA season's back. College basketball is starting pretty soon. It's the World Series. I'd say it's a great time to be a sports fan. No matter what sport you like, it's being played right now. Baseball, football, basketball, hockey. Everything's being played right now. There's going to be some UFC fights. There's some boxing matches. It's just a good time to be a sports fan right now. Because even I'm thinking, the Bengals are not doing that great. But I'm like, hold on. UC and Xavier's going to be good in college basketball. Me being a Cincinnati, I'm like, I got them to look forward to. And I'm already watching college football looking for the draft. I'm like, who do we want? I tell you what, big game this week, Ohio State and Penn State. Ohio State and Penn State. I said last week Ohio State's peaking. Penn State dismantled Michigan. Dismantled them. That's going to be a great game. I don't know who's going to win, but I'm not predicting a close game. It's going to be a blowout. I'm looking forward to it. All right, y'all. Well, I had a good time this week. To all the struggling comics out there, please listen to this podcast the first 10, 15 minutes. And just know, don't have a plan B and don't ever quit because that phone call could come. That phone call came from me for $200 and it felt like $2 million because I needed it at that time. I needed it. And the 200 ended up turning to 400 because I had burned CDs I could sell afterwards. And I don't know who that Mexican dude was that bought 10. No, he bought 15. He bought 15 for $10 a piece. It was $150. I'll never forget it. I was like, dang, he just gave me $150. And he was just passing them out. He was passing them out to his homeboys when they were leaving. Hey, I got it. It was $10. Like it was nothing. Man, thank you. I came home, called my wife, like, I'm stopping at Jack in the Box and getting 2 tacos for 99 cents because I got the money. 2 tacos were so tasty on the way home. Oh, my God. They were so tasty. So, anyways, I'll see y'all next week, man. Hopefully the Bengals win and I'm in a better mood, but we'll see what happens, man. All right, this is Gary Owen with the Get Some podcast. See y'all next week.